Rick Prosser here at StockChartSense.com, and it's April 9th. And today in the market, obviously it was down because of the jobs report. So, uh, as we can see, investors really didn't care for it. But the good news is we weren't down, 200 or 300 points, and we actually did rally a little bit by the end of the day, but not much. So, but here's the deal. Let's look at Google. Let's talk about Google today. With Google, we had a nice volatility squeeze here. Boom, boom. And I would even consider this here part of this volatility squeeze, just because it was really consolidating there. But the problem was is you had this huge down day here, or this huge move to the downside right here, which caused these Bollinger Bands to expand like that. But then the stock started to rebound here, and then it started to consolidate, and it just took time for these bands to really catch up and create a volatility squeeze. So the bottom line is simply this: you've really had a volatility squeeze really this whole time here, and just you can see it in the bands right here. And then you have your breakout right here. I would call that probably the breakout area, somewhere one of these, most likely this one here. But you can see the volume was really picking up. Matter of fact, down here you could really see it picking up. And then when it started to break out, you had some nice volume right here. And then as you can see here on these down days, you can see the volume really wasn't that heavy, and which is good. That means it was just kind of, to me, that's a nice orderly pullback. But here's the key. Here's the key. The stock is pulled back to the 50-day moving average right here, and both days, Thursday and then today, you had some very nice volume here. It was pretty decent volume, a little above average, but not just average. I'd say more like these areas here. So that tells me it sure seems to me it's being accumulated, the stock. But the key to this is simply this: you've had this pullback right to the 50-day moving average, and it's right here where the breakout is. Now, generally the way volatility squeezes work is that you have the breakout, you have an up move like this, and then you have a pullback to test the breakout area, which again is right here, which is right around the 625 area or 630 area, somewhere in that, right around in there. So this is not uncommon for the stock to pull back down to here to test the breakout area. Now the good news is the 50-day moving average happens to be right at the breakout area. So that's actually a pretty good thing here. The other thing you have to keep in mind is on the 12th of April, Google reports earnings. So I could see this stock running up into earnings a little bit. I mean, I could see it nailing the 650 before earnings again, or getting pretty close to it. Now, here's the thing though. What's going to happen in earnings? I don't know. They report after the close on the 12th. So could the stock just have a gap up way up here if they report good earnings, or could it shoot down here? That's a tough answer. So so what you need to do is make sure if you're buying this, you need to anticipate, well, not anticipate, you need to determine in part of your plan, are you going to hold it over earnings, or are you going to let it rally up to a certain point here and then you're just going to sell out of it? So that's a plan you got to think about. But the key is this: it's pulled back to the 50-day moving average, right where the volatility squeezes was where it broke out originally. And my feeling is it's probably going to rally a little bit before earnings. And if you want to get in it here, you can, but make sure you have some risk management in play. Maybe down there around that red arrow is if it starts to fall down there, you may want to get out. And also keep in mind, today was a pretty lousy day in the market, and the stock didn't do too bad. I mean, it had okay volume, so that tells you something. When the market's going down and Google's not, I think people were accumulating it, probably anticipation of the earnings, which again, I could see it heading up here a little bit, but you need to determine if you want to hold on to this baby of earnings or not. Okay, that's it. Listen, head over to StockChartSense.com right now and sign up for your free video if you like what you hear. Take care.